circled on the screen, there it is, then transported them to a smaller military aircraft. Meanwhile, Air Force One took off with journalists and White House staff on board serving as a decoy. They thought the president was... How President Trump hid in a catering cart to board a secret flight due to an Iranian assassination threat. The Washington Post reports it happened when he was leading a NATO summit in Turkey last month. He was seen boarding Air Force One, but minutes later, he and several aides secretly exited the plane via an airport catering truck. That truck, which we'll show you, circled on the screen, there it is, then transported them to a smaller military aircraft. Meanwhile, Air Force One took off with journalists and White House staff on board serving as a decoy. They thought the president was on board. Once both planes arrived in England, President Trump was secretly transported back onto Air Force One so they could get this image of him disembarking as he normally would. Nobody would know anything different. Here's what the Washington Post reporter who broke this story told CNN's Caitlin Collins about the incident earlier.
For weeks now, the American public talking about the two Air Force One jets, the newer one from Qatar and the older one from the last couple decades of operations. And in reality, the president was on neither plane. You had the newer jet from Qatar that landed with a relatively nondescript call sign a couple hours in advance in Britain. The C-32 simply did not show up in flight tracker data at all, at least in the publicly available information we had. And the Air Force One jet landed with the Air Force One call sign, despite the president not being aboard. There's a serious shell game of sorts that occurred there, to keep the president safe.
大家好，我是主播周玉琴。很多的朋友告诉我们，选择原版的太阳星全效克菲尔益生菌，它添加有羽衣甘蓝，健康再加分。而有睡眠困扰的朋友们，赶快选择蓝色包装这一款晚安加强版，绝对是更有感。每日克菲尔，时刻美好 ，Good Feel。Feel good， 请上快点购为健康下单，而且要记得输入推荐代码，有额外的折扣优惠。太阳星全效克菲尔益生菌基础版、晚安加强版新包装改版，内容不变，抽取更方便。要吃就吃最好的。